Come on up here, Marcus. Please, come on up. Yeah. So, Marcus is a naturopath of exceptional sensitivity, and to the degree that there's any design left in this pot of speakers, Marcus is going to touch on the subject of good health and love. We will then hear from an economist who's going to touch on the subject of economics and love. You may be surprised to know those two things can be related. And finally, Adam Gallner will come up and give us an overview and his impressions of the day entire. And we will close with a fabulous performance by Michael Kaeshammer. All right, so this is Marcus Laux.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you. It's especially exciting to be here because Moses truly believes in love. And it's something I do as well, and that's sometimes hard after you've been a little bit through life, have some gray hair and a lot of experience. You guys are troopers as well, being here all day, so thank you for sticking around and hearing what I have to say. We're going to talk about love, what it is, what it isn't, how you can have more. We all have a personal history, and I want to set the stage right now where a lot of people, some you'll recognize, have come from. Can we see the video? That's great, thank you. That's where a lot of us got started. What we know is that love is a powerful, extraordinary force that we're all looking for. Inside, outside, sometimes weird approaches. Love makes the world go round. Without it, lack of perception, we crash and burn. What I know and what I've learned from my patients, from my travels, from indigenous people, and my own journey. Build bombs or your life can bomb. Bonds are what make people survive, thrive, and grow. Some of the most important bonds is inside, and we're going to talk about that today. What is love? Some people say it's the best and the worst. Heaven and hell. Perhaps it is heaven when we have it together, and it's hell when there's a lack of perception or lack of it. We're all victors and victims. All right, at least we can agree we're all victims at some point. And we should, as we learn and we grow, we become experts through our X's, through our experience. Otherwise, we're excommunicated. What we need to know is that love, falling in love and all of this, is not the destination. It is the start of the journey. And as you said from the prophet, anybody ever read the prophet? One of the great books ever written. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. It is a growing process, and to make tempered steel, it has to be superheated and then pounded with a sledgehammer so it can be sharp and cut and lasting. Same with love, same with our personal growth. True love, to me, is the honest answer for true hope in this world so missing, for honest goodness. And for me as a physician, for some of the deepest healing. It's going to come from that. I've treated some of the most influential people in the world in Beverly Hills and Malibu. They're just like us, and some of their biggest issues manifest as medical, and they treat the symptoms, but at the core, it's them, in their heart. Self-love, self-esteem, self-care. We know that it is transformative. Love, in its process in pruning, is, oh my God, so embarrassingly, painfully humbling. And in the end, it's amazingly transformational. And what its ultimate goal is to be enlightening. What is love? To me, it is a potent natural medicine. From traditional Chinese medicine and Buddhism, it's a living, precious treasure. And we're going to talk about that because part of what we can cultivate and strengthen. It is a path to peace, and it is a way of being. And by being in a place of self-love and self-care, you can change almost anything about yourself. So many patients come in with symptoms and problems, and as we deal with it, they will take care of their pets. They'll take care of their kids. They'll do anything for them. But the best they will do is brush their teeth every other day. So we'll talk about some of the things that we can do about that. One of the things I've learned on my path is that nobody heals you. Nobody can heal you. As a physician, I can't heal anybody, but I can set the stage for them to heal themselves. That's the only way that it works. When I clean a wound or put in sutures, or I prescribe a drug or an herb, if I'm looking to make dietary lifestyles or changes in how people have their behavior in their day, that's not healing, but it's providing the opportunity for them to heal. And this is all outside affecting the forces, and love will end up being one of the most important influences. The love of your life cannot heal you. So many people are looking for that perfect person. If I only found them, everything would be just great. Their love can support you, give you strength, encourage you, but you have to walk those miles. You do it. If you are contingent on anybody else for your fulfillment, for your love, you're not there yet. If it's withdrawn and you collapse, this is an opportunity for you to look and see what part of you is not in full love with yourself. What we just saw is romantic love in the film clip. It solves little. The fix is a fake, and really what I should have said there is it's fantasy. It's transient. It's outside. Nothing there is going to help you. Eventually it deflates, and that emotional high, that roller coaster, that hormonal up and down, it's DOA. We go from overjoyed, overboard, to overwhelmed, to, oh my God, DOA. Another component, we know about eating heart smart, eating heart healthy. We know that our lifestyle, we know that our diet has effects on our heart, on our health. But what I want to point out is that while we're all aware of that, what most people aren't aware of is what's eating you. How do you know what's eating you? I'll give you a couple hints. What do you think about when you're in a commute, driving the car by yourself? What pops up in your head? What do you think about when you're taking a shower in your private moments? What comes to you before you fall asleep or just before you wake up? Do you get nervous? Do you sweat? Is it supportive? Is it saying you're great? Or is it saying something the opposite? Those are the keys and the opportunities to pay attention to and see where your heart's at, where your self-love at. And anything that's not supportive and positive is false. That came from somewhere else. That's not you. You picked it up and you're repeating it. They should be supportive and loving and strengthening of your character. But most people don't pay attention to them. We're too busy in our electronics. We're listening to music. We're distracted. But what's eating you? We know that people that have things that bug them die of heart attacks, cancer, chronic illness, don't heal as fast. Release yourself. Your heart will do that. Only as a mirror can, you can see most of your body, yourself. You can see just about everything. But it's a mirror that shows you your face. And those mirrors are people, coaches, parents, friends, girlfriends, boyfriends. They often say nice things, and sometimes they don't say nice things. Now, we also know in the same with a mirror, like at a circus or so, they can make us look fat or tall or distorted. You have to be careful what your mirror is, what you use, what your reference is. Because a lot of that self-talk of what's eating you is coming from a mirror that wasn't accurate. But your heart is the true measure, the true reflection of your inner life. We know about fast heart rate, tachycardia is not good. High blood pressure, stress, we're holding on, we're not breathing. All these things have a heartful, emotional component. And emotions and all this is caused by having a thought, a perception that we believe and we internalize, and the body runs through it. Your heart is what we're going to look at, how we can fix that. Love the one you're with. Popular song. But who are you with? It all starts with yourself. Most people are running around the world looking for that right person when they could stay in the broom closet with the door closed and have the romance of their life. And once that's figured out, you can't avoid finding the person that you need. The goal is not to go and find a perfect person. As there's an old expression, the perfect person hasn't been born, or you haven't met them and you never will. It's not about finding a perfect person. It is your mission, should you decide to accept, is finding an imperfect person perfect. Start with yourself. To me, as a naturopathic physician, in the true following of Hippocrates, self-love is self-care. It is the highest form and the first form of care. You bang yourself in the knee, you rub it. You massage it, you make it better. You put on ointment. You brush your teeth. You eat healthy. You go to the gym. You do whatever. Self-love has you focus more on that, not as an obsession, but as an obligation, as an honor to take care of yourself. It's the only way we get out of this feeling good. Hell on earth is having pain and chronic pain for the rest of your life, lack of mobility, don't have choices. Self-love is the first and highest form and needs to be addressed for all the problems we might have when you heal your heart, when you come back to the issues that you find yourself loving, because maybe someone told you you weren't, or your heart got broken in the journey, you gave it up. It just might heal your life. And I've watched it so many times that people's life radically change with a perception, with a moment of clarity. And we'll talk about that a little further. Here's a litmus test if you are loving yourself and you're on the path. When you've made the right decision for yourself, you have made the right decision for everybody. Family, friends, loved ones. The empowerment of saying no to somebody you love is such a self-validation that you made the decision because you loved yourself enough that I'm not going to go stretch and do it. I love them, I'd love to help, but you know what, I can't right now. When you can do that without guilt, when you can do that without ego, you're on your way. It has to be right for you first. This comes from a groundedness, not an ego, not a competition. Make the decisions for you. I said a living treasure before. And in Chinese medicine, Buddhism, and many ancient cultures going back thousands of years, Shen is your spirit. Shen could translate to soul, your mind, your deity. What is so interesting to me, and they say there's three of them, your chi, your essence, and your Shen. These are the components of how we operate and how they will judge your health, how long you'll live, and where the disturbances in our health come from. But your spirit and your soul, what makes it so interesting, as another speaker said, they're intertwined, is that your spirit lives in your heart. but its office, it goes to work in your head. So you know when you have a heavy heart, right? You can't sleep, you can't think straight, you can't make right decisions. You do all kinds of things that are off because your spirit is not happy in its home, and when it goes to work, it's pacing around and moping and not happy. Strengthen your spirit, helping dissolve the stress we'll talk about, contributes to wisdom, virtue, and calmness. When I asked about looking at the issues of what's eating you, how you can get there faster and easier is our connection to all of us and to what's around us in energetics. Your mind is calm. It is like a pond that will reflect the autumn moon up above exactly as it is. And you pick up and connect to the universe, connect to the energies. But when there's disturbance, when you're anxiety, when you're tension, that pond has got ripples in it, can't see a thing, can't pick up anything else. That's what happens when we listen to the radio all the time, or we are distracted all the time. We don't look at ourselves, we don't connect and communicate, we don't pick up the messages for our personal growth. Got to follow your heart. Trite as can be, follow your heart. Good vibrations, boom, 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 boom. If you listen to the heart, many people, it's going fast, it's altered. So many of the biggest problems we have, health problems today, is an irregular heartbeat, out of tune, out of sync, not getting a transmission to it. But you can't have optimal well-being without the heart, and it's physical and it's spiritual. And the true way is by strengthening your spirit, you can dissolve disease. Disease is dis-ease. It is lack of balance. It is metabolism that is no longer dynamic and adjusting. It cannot find balance, so it goes into an improper functioning, the best that it can, but it will have symptoms. The conventional model in medicine is to eliminate the disease, get rid of the symptoms. But we didn't actually accomplish improving our health. By addressing the issues of the heart, by connecting and making better communication with our friends, our family, our nature, our community, we strengthen spirit. And by that, the dis-ease goes away. Most of our stress and tension comes from not being connected, not feeling wanted, sometimes even in our own skin. The slide should start out, be yourself. Be yourself. And then do what you are, fully, uninhibitedly, which hopefully means you're doing what you love. And love what you do. Work, occupation, singing, new habits, anything that is in your nature. What comes to you freely? What were you born with as a gift? What is it that you like to do in your daily moments? Are things that we often put aside and don't do. Follow your nature. Follow your instincts. Follow the gifts that you were meant to have. Those are where you grow your love, you grow your stature. All of a sudden, you're doing more and more that you never thought you could do. Release yourself. Be yourself. Don't let someone else constrain you. Don't let society constrain you. Release yourself to be free to do what you are. And then do that for an occupation, a hobby. It's extraordinary what it can do. You will be rich beyond compare. You will find more love and more support, and out of nowhere, life comes and supports you in doing this. Cahill Gibran said, when you actually obtain that, your work is love made visible. What a great thing if we could all do that. Many of us hang on to our sorrow, our sadness, our journey, our broken hearts, bad relationships, divorces, problems. Out of our suffering, the strongest souls have been forged. And the most massive souls, those have some of the most scars, seared with scars. They are mementos. They are not weights. They are not anchors. They are not signs of defeat. Whatever sadness we might have, whatever secrets that we hold, They are mementos of your journey. Love does not care where you have been. It only matters who you are now, today. Let go of the past. Let go of the pain. Let go of fear. Everybody's journey is different. Some are easier than others. Very few are easy. Very few. I say the surgeon cuts, the physician sutures, but it is nature alone that heals. And this is your heart. It's your nature that heals. A physician can help your nature get into alignment and find balance and heal who you are. But what is your nature? Do you know what your nature is? It's the life force that goes through you. It's the breath that makes your lungs rise and fall. It's that beat of your heart. When are we alive? When our first heartbeat happens. When are we dead? When that heart stops. That's it. It's all around the heart. Your nature was given to you by your mom and dad. One egg, one sperm, all of their energy, all their history from their great-grandparents for millions of years came together, and that energy of fusing together in its unique way is your life force. You got it. You inherited it. It was inside your mom growing. And all that environment, and you were born. Your nature now is nourished by your lifestyle, your habits, your diet, and everything else that you do. And you can improve that place. If you had genes in your family of arthritis or heart disease, you don't have to have it. You can alter the influences on those genes and avoid it. But it is your life force. And a big part of that life force is being heartful, because we know that people in a long-term marriage, one spouse dies, the other one dies very quickly afterwards. You can die from a broken heart. And this whole thing is about many people I see today are broken because they have a broken heart and a broken relationship with themselves. You can let go of that and change instantly. And nature takes its time to change and grow over weeks and months, but it can be done by nourishing your nature. Love conquers all? I'd love to say yes, but I don't think so. Maybe yes, maybe no. I'm going to end with a story. John Lennon of the Beatles wrote, "When I was young, my mother told me always that happiness was the key to life. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wrote down happy. They said, well, you don't understand the assignment. And he says, no, you don't understand life." Thank you. Thank you, Moses.